offer guidance in generating and sustaining right intention in relating to a teacher.
Lomagi samlo kurtang la ra legyo saris and tende samlo lomagi samlo tang te la ra le bayinde te loma kurang ngone that samlo yabo da chejo la samlo chitango na te la mi kalo tang lapten da chikari sonje nas
xiongge de chi quand you know Tomar Lama Toba Ton, the name Lama Toba, the Tanchichilangone Tombo Kitchas take yours.
So, in all the teachings, or like every tradition, first day is like the how to investigate on the qualities of the master, and then also like master also investigating the quality of the student. So this is very important, and in most of the texts before going to the actual practice or the teachings, so this subject is discussed as the first topic.
Okay, this lama de also Kori ne redu tome karse sunayon dumar rongi imba de hako di tone de kasha de senten tande sera tome rongi pamashi imba di hako ase de ni hit dem mo rongi jula yedu da dene kori dunga tele ya dorvitadu dene na lama kan de tengudu so how
the students must find their teacher? So the first understanding they must have is now the sufferings in the 6 realms. So wherever a sentient being is born, the seeker of this spiritual path must see that all these 6 realms of cyclic existence is a place of suffering, and then having a yearning to be freed from this suffering. And with this intention also, then the seeker of the spiritual path, the student must have the bodhicitta of seeing all sentient beings of equal to space, where our mother, and with this two intention or motivation, then seeking a path to liberate from this suffering and to benefit all the sentient beings, the student must look for a master.
Hemba Malowa Jidong Lama le Deba Mugu Ti Toban Meneki Arrange then Lama then Pento Gemers.
So a student who don't really have detached from the adherence to the cyclic existence, and then also do not have firm devotion to a master, then there won't be much benefit through these practices.
Siong Sanji Chile, no near Doji Carnina, Siong Chisumba Pot Lama Tenle, Onyansolena, Yaboyer, Hajun, Nega, Tetsam Tiamars. The song Haji Castle, then Lama Surgeon to Tenle, Rongi, Yabochi Nyansu Malena, then Kori Dungar Tamibachi in Rogum and Chocolate Day and Lama del Rono Soso Toshi Sanetunde, then Lame Kan Sumbate, then Mijeba again, then they don't send it, the Chile, Tito Somebody Kisha Teres.
So in Buddhism, we have the Sutrayana teachings and then the Tantra teachings or the Vajrayana teachings. So in the Sutrayana teachings and the practices. Of course, we have to rely on a master, but then practice that. And if we there is no much complete reliance on the master, but when we practice the Vajrayana teaching, the master or the teacher becomes the principal subject where we have to rely on. And then before relying on that spiritual master, we have to really examine the qualities of the teacher, and then rely on him. And if then it should be a complete reliance and devotion. And if there is some sort of breakage in this the relation, then it will cause a great harm and suffering. And then instead of liberating from the suffering, it can create more of the negative impact.
Dalam jikane sanji ji gomon tobala kachen trome som so so tujong ne sanji gomon togu bajeres.
So in the Sutrayana teachings, it is said that to get enlightened, one have to practice 3 countless eons to get enlightened.
This angajikala tibarima mambachi yarede. Dene tada ate yoga dubachemo nenaji kolle. Loma raton dembachi ke kaserina tseti liti drebo togi bacheres.
So in and the secret mantrayana teaching, there are again different yanas, and of all this the Ati Yoga, the great completion, then if one is able to practice this spiritual path and the teachings, it is said that we can accomplish enlightenment in one lifetime and this one body.
Lamale sonje musum tong tubaji sam tong guyores.
So for that, then because of this, now the student must also see the master as the real Buddha.
Desano madonna che drevo nyudu mintubade kalekores.
So if one is not able to see our own master as Buddha, then all this accomplishment to swiftly achieve these goals would be impossible.
The lama sonje te tongu bate loma rana so ki tandu remato lama la gya.
So to see the teacher as the Buddha, it is for the benefit of these students, and it doesn't anyway help the master.
Lama sonje te tona lama tanden lama meru tona te tanyang daji ndor tegures.
So in these teachings, if we see the teacher Lama as Buddha, then he abides by all the samayas. And then if the students see the Lama as just an ordinary being, so it's even said that is not abiding by the samaya. So nowadays, all the practitioners are just superficial practitioners, just practicing through their mouth, and then from real in-depth, the one who practices these teachings are very rare and few. So everyone speaks of saying that I want the teachings of the Dzogpa Chenpo, the great completion practice, but in real practice, then there are very few who can really put into the practice of all these teachings.
usunda jeremado message tungeso.
So those who practice, then there are some who can practice just a couple of months, but there isn't really practitioners who want to like make a commitment to practice their whole life.
Dans les quartiers sont de socialisation de son Diego Bontobado. Zoba Chembegane, mais c'est qu'il est de mettre chez Check cassette du Téna, ce qui est de Nyanslem.
So if we see that in the Sutrayana path, then one have to practice many countless eons to get enlightened, and then in the Mantrayana teachings, it's like within a very short life, short time, one can get enlightenment. But there are very few who practices in accordance to whatever our text is teaching us and instructing us to do.
There's Dawachari Nyanso Lena, Pen Masiki, Jerimbo, Kali Kabona di Tondung Kadore, they Sandiji Goron, Zobachem, Tawa Mandukadi Jogi Hamos.
So then just by practicing for a couple of months, then people feel that very tiring, and then it is very sort of like lots of like austerity practice and all these teachings, they see it as sort of like really hard and endurable practices. So with such a motivation, it would be very difficult to really accomplish all these teachings as taught in the text.
Lama Sonjil Tone, Rogi Gosu Lingua Yesu, Temba Chisheduna, Tendebo Mere Mato, Lama call Mere Ngao me some Bachikan Hondi, Lamali, and Kukula Soba, Chinas, Leontoba Malone, Chi Hit Sonjiko Togmaris.
So now, if we just are not able to see the Lama as the Buddha and just think that Lama is also another ordinary human being and I am also another human being, and practice in this way won't have any much benefit, like just by understanding and having the just the knowledge on this Dharma won't benefit. So the real benefit has to come through the practice of these teachings.
Lama de Ganga Chembochi Lama de Sede, Lama Sesa de Lama de Karsuna de Kar Mangavaje, Saja Mena, Che to Konalipar, repatriation Dugire, Tendesi, they were a Togire, they don't have comments.
So in Tibet, first we have to find an authentic master with much difficulties, and then once we find the master, then we completely rely on that master and do whatever the master instruct the student, and in that way, even if the person is running out of all this his ration and all this provisions, then he doesn't care, and just with one pointed mind he just think of practicing the Dharma, and in that way one is able to really accomplish high realization. And nowadays there is very few, and so I don't know what will be the result.
Kalaya body marana, then Halish Dogres, the day you children at the Hakomits.
So nowadays practitioner, even if one is not able to get a good meal in a day, so it's very much surprising and takes it disgusting, or and then so such practitioners, I don't know how they can really accomplish this spiritual path.
Kala in a conscience that poet job Majatan Chunda to pass the Turkish tomb, then cheer the Korota Chia Sherimado, Saju Jan and Dusa the Tocha Shim Suyamars.
So in the past, the practitioners were just not worried about about their food and where they want to stay, and then they just drank water and then just ate limited food, and then they were solely completely focused on the practice of the Dharma, and in that way they were able to accomplish high realization. Then, so like how this is the relation, as you said, to speak on the relation between master and student. So this is the general idea, and then he also makes aspirational prayers so that there can be good practitioners in future.
Okay, oh yeah.